Welcome to Bond SCX. This is Lance, the Bargain Stock Bounty Hunter, brought to you again with another video. I've got Daz joining me again this week. We're on week 27, July 5th to July 8th. Been away for a while. Had some things I had to tend to, but I'm back. I hope I've been missed a little bit. I hope some of the videos that you see will continue to watch. A lot of changes in the market, a lot of things to go through. We'll try to go through as quickly as possible. Disclaimer before I get started, I am not a financial advisor, nor am I advising anyone to spend their money. This is only for educational purposes and only my opinion. Any money spent is at the individual's own discretion and not due to any information from me. So we are going into quarter number 3. We're halfway through the year, or more than halfway through the year. And we'll see where the market has been going and where we feel like it's going to go. So let's start off with a market analysis, looking into the Nasdaq. So way back when, last few videos, projected where the market would probably start to head down to, and look at what we see here. The market has come down into that range, has hit a low of 10,565, and looks like it's pulled back from there. One interesting thing I do want to pull out of this is looking at the MACD around the March timeframe. We see almost of a little bit of almost a pull into across of the teal into the, I guess it's kind of like a tan or yellowish color. Kind of did a little bit of a fake out before it crossed over and pulled in. You can see where the market was then. Right, it was at a bottom of a support, and it did a number on us. Right, it gave us the impression that the market was ready to turn back around for good, and it did for a little while. So maybe get that same sentiment here. Kind of see the same setup coming again. And let's see if the market pulls back down a little bit, what we call a W or a double bottom, and then pull up and start to take off and go more bullish. All right, so got a feel in this market this week. It's a short week. Again, we got the holiday today, July 4th, and we feel like we'll see that the market will be very much, there'll be a lot of emotions in the market this week. There's a lot of potential for a turnaround. And so we'll see if the market does turn around. I do project the market by Friday for the Nasdaq will be up into the 11,400, 300 price point. Don't know if that will happen quickly or not, but I believe the market will start to see a little bit of a turnaround. We might see a little bit of a fall Tuesday, Wednesday, and then Thursday, Friday, see a bit of a pullback. So I would expect, we should hope as investors, I think we're like 35% down from our highs. So if we look from low to high, we're looking at about 34.5%. So we are in a market crash, ladies and gentlemen. If you're not being told that or not aware of that, we are definitely in a market crash. We would hope that the support stays here. If it falls below the support, we're in deep trouble financially. So let's hope that the market turns around this next half of the year. But if it doesn't, and if it stays in this blue for a long time, it will be still a lot of economic troubles, a lot of economic uproars. But if it falls below here, man, we're in another level of economic situation. So I would say, let's hope for a pullback. Does look like there's some signs of one. And so we'll continue to keep pushing towards that direction. Looking into the New York Stock Exchange, very similar. We looked at months ago, the potential of where it could be. You see a very similar situation where it has fallen in this range where I've projected. You can steady see the MACD steady pulling down. It's getting lower lows. The momentum's getting lower. And so we expect that the New York Stock Exchange being a little bit less drastic of a drop. Looking at 19.5% there. So I would say it does have potential to drop more. I do think we'll see something similar where it may pull a support here and then pull back. So I do project that the New York Stock Exchange by Friday be somewhere in the neighborhood of 14,500, somewhere in that range to 14,700. I do see some pullbacks here from Thursday and Friday. So we'll see if it continues to try to round that corner and pull back up. We see the MACD wanting to kind of cross over. So we'll see if the volume and the price action and the momentum starts to pull up as well in the New York Stock Exchange. So that's my projections of that for those two this week. Moving on to the plays of the week, some of the call outs. Again, we're in a difficult situation with the market, but the bright side is everything's getting really cheap. So there's a lot of stocks that maybe some people have probably considered not buying or thought maybe were overpriced. There's a lot of opportunities in this type of market to actually get into some stocks that you might not have ever been able to purchase. So let's start off with the first one this week. First call out is Moderna. Moderna comes in at a true value of $138.99. It's $10.96 overpriced. So let's be aware of that. I'm not saying that it's a good price at the current price of $149.95. I'm saying it's $10.96 overpriced. So be aware of that. Moving at a decent trend of a 2. So let's look at what Moderna is showing on the charts, what I'm seeing there. We'll see if there's some opportunities to get in for Moderna. So looking at Moderna again, I always look at 1 year, 1 day. Like to look at the cake range and how everything's moving in this range. For Moderna, it's been very, very, very rangy in price. So the cake range really doesn't tell us the story as well as we would like to see it. So another alternative to look at is the SMA, right? So the SMA is this nice kind of green kind of curved line here, which is a projected trend line. And so since we can't look at the cake to give us an analysis, we kind of look at the SMA and see when we can get across of the price action above the SMA, which is what we see happening last year this time. And you see what happens when the price action is above the SMA. You see how the price action wants to pull upward into a bullish pattern, especially when it first crosses over. And so what we're looking for and waiting for is for this to cross. And you can see the SMA getting very close to the price action, which is a very good sign that there is a possibility that this price could jump above here and shoot off into the 300 price range as it has been in the past. So one of the things I'm looking at for this one is what I would call consolidation. The prices are getting really tight. You can see all the nice William Alligator charts, blue, red, green, all kind of get intertwined, almost like spaghetti here. So that everything's getting twisted over, meaning that everything's getting consolidated and the price action is getting really tight, which is a good sign. As long as the volume's there, there's a good sign that this price could shoot off and go forward into a bullish pattern. So let's zoom in just a little bit. One of the things I wanted to show, you do see the MACD, the momentum starting to cross over, starting to build some volume. And so if you look at a nice trend, again, of the last month, you can see slowly but surely there is some support being built up against this yellow kind of trend line. And so what I would say is, for me, where I would feel comfortable, again, it is overpriced, quite a bit overpriced. The price point that feels best for me for Moderna for a long-term hold would be 135.15. And with 135.15, there is some possibility. Remember, we did show that the Nasdaq could fall some Tuesday or Wednesday. Could be a great opportunity to get in at 135.15 and possibly get out by Friday at maybe a 10% gain of 149.92. So for me, I feel very comfortable with Moderna going in at 135.15. So that's my call out for Moderna, 135.15. Daz, what's your analysis, breakdown, call out for Moderna?
So for me, for a weekly play, I'm okay with getting in at 134.34 around there. But overall, I feel like Moderna just like you already said, it's overpriced a little bit. Like I wouldn't be surprised if it was back in like the 120s.
120s.
I wouldn't be surprised, but I think there is some pretty good support coming in though, personally.
Yeah, and with I believe
For a quick trade.
Yeah, for a quick trade. Yeah. Keep in mind too, that's going to be another kind of common thing that we'll hear more in the near future. Moderna and Pfizer are both competing for, I believe, the next tier age group of COVID vaccines, right? So I know my little girl and some other, some of the kids that are going back to school are going to be given the opportunity to take a COVID shot. So I know Pfizer has one. I know Moderna's competing for one. So, school is not too far from around the corner. We'll see if that changes some of the perceptions of some of the investors. So it's a good point. It could fall some more. I do agree with that for sure. Next on the list, Netflix. So Netflix has been a very beaten up stock. They're losing a lot of market share for various reasons, politically and non-politically. They are coming in underpriced this week. It's on sale at 75 cents underpriced, coming in at a true value of $180.70. It does have a trend of a 2, which is a decent trend upward. I do have them on here for a short-term trade, so something to look for. So let's look at Netflix and see what we can see on Netflix. So again, looking at Netflix, it has been beaten up quite a bit. This stock was at $1.799. That's an incredible drop in the course of the year. So let's zoom in to where we are today and kind of see some of the things I'm seeing. Very slow, kind of methodical, kind of a wave that's starting to develop. And similar to Moderna, you are seeing the blue, red, and green and the teal start to get closer and closer together. Doesn't necessarily mean in this respect that it will help the price want to pull back. I do see some momentum starting to change with the kind of the tan and the teal on the MACD wanting to cross, which is a good sign. I do think there is still some opportunity for this one to pull back, but I do think it's hit its the yearly low of 162.71. I do think that there is some potential for this one to pull back. There's a huge gap from April 20th, where we had 133 million shares traded at the price point between 212 to 245, 248. So there's a lot of potential for this to be covered. So that means all the shares that the investors bought here, the ones who did buy, they're holding, they're waiting for it to come back above. So I do believe it has potential to cover this range in the next few weeks or maybe next month. But I do think in this week alone, I do think there's still some opportunity to get in. My price point for this one this week is 170.20 with the opportunity to get out potentially by Friday with about a 14% gain at 193. So I'm going in this week. I feel comfortable with Netflix at 170.20. That's what's your call out for Netflix.
Yeah, another one I'm real bearish on. You said to me that's kind of bold, man. You said 170.
Yep.
Yeah, so I'm looking. I mean, this could be very
Spit it out.
Yeah, no, right. I mean, maybe crazy, but I think 163, like
Huh,
163.96 personally.
163. Okay, that's not bad. That's still not too
Like
far. That's still good value, man. I mean, if you can get it that low, you said 163 what?
96.
96. If you can get that low, man, that's great.
That stock is beat though, like from what is it? It was like 700, yeah, 700 now to 79. That's like 75% almost.
Now, not to get too far off track here, do you think that is intentional? That drop?
Um, I'm not gonna say intentional, but with the buzz and the pumps up in the markets, and Netflix kind of did lose a lot of customers too, and then they got a few more things going on with the company, and yeah, I don't exactly know why the beat. So I think that's partially why. I know they did some things like change the password stuff up, and some people ain't like that,
Yeah.
like sharing
I
their
mean,
stuff.
this is we're talking about looking from low to high. It's a 77%
Or
drop.
77%.
It's a lot. It's a lot. So
Yeah,
it's 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 in a bad place. If you bought here, it's in a bad place. If you're looking to buy here, like what we're talking about, you're in a good place, in my opinion, a real good place.
yeah. I don't. Yeah, I think this level right here is more appetizing to get into. Yeah,
Yeah,
especially long term. Because I mean, Netflix not going anywhere.
good point. All right, all right. So moving on to the next one up on the list, we got Robinhood. Robinhood comes in at 23 cents on sale at a true value of $8.41. Again, another one moving at a nice little trend of a 2 over the last month. Just look at the charts and see what Robinhood is showing us. So looking at Robinhood, again, another stock that has been beaten up. And let's look at from low to high. We're looking at 92%. So even worse than Netflix. But one thing I do want to pull out of this, I'd like to show is you look at this gray or white line here. This line here is the trend of volume, and you see since October, the volume for people buying Robinhood stock and selling Robinhood is starting to increase. So it's picking up momentum in the terms of activity, which is a good sign for a stock, right? You do want to see activity. What you don't want to see is no activity, what we see back here in September, and the price just steady falling. You do want to see activity, which means there's a lot of tight trading going on, even though the price is still falling. It's a great opportunity to still get in and still make money. And Robinhood being very cheap at this point, there's a lot of money can be made. And so this one I pull out because it's kind of easy money here from a standpoint of a short term get in, get out. And I'll show you why. So as we look at, again, the SMA is, let's back it up a little bit. SMA is just now starting to develop. The way I have my SMA set up, it's just now starting to create an SMA because it's had enough data to create one. And again, we see this SMA getting closer and closer to the price action, which is always a great sign. But even without that, I'm zooming just a little bit more. You can see again a slight trend upward, and we can also see the amount of volume coming in on June 27th and June 26th. And we see 73 million shares and also 60 million shares being purchased and sold. And then you see the price action starting to make this nice little kind of bounce in this little range here. I believe in this week, you could pick up Robinhood at the price point of, let's see what I got here. Price point of 740, 8. That's what I got 740. Zoom in a little bit more. It's 750. So I think 750 is a good price point for Robinhood for me. 750, and then you can actually get out somewhere in this range with 14, 17% by Friday, which gets you back to 876. So at that 818, so you can play it down to 750, sell it back at 818 or even higher, and still make a pretty good gain and buy enough shares to make some good money. So for me, 750 is a great price point for Robinhood, and that's where I feel very comfortable getting at Robinhood this week. $7.50. As what's your call out for Robinhood this week?
Yeah, we actually not too far on that one. I was looking at 778 actually. I thought that was pretty decent price point. Not necessarily a fan of Robinhood stock, as you know, but
Oh, I know. I know.
That's another stock too that drastically beaten, like from what $80 range.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I don't think it's going anywhere as far as I don't think they're going out of business, but
No, it's not. It's too many retail investors. I guess that's the term.
so I think it's really good value at this point. And if it does turn around and get even somewhere close to, close to the 20s or 30s, I mean, if you buy it at this range and hell, I mean, you can't lose. So, all right, next on the list is Microsoft. So Microsoft has not called that one out this year. Great opportunity to get in finally. This one has some opportunities for us, blue chip stocks, long term. So coming in $1.69 this week, overpriced. True value of $257.89 is what I've got pulled out. All righty, looks like did you see that just now?
No, I missed that. What happened?
Okay. Something's changed on Zoom, so now I'm on a time clock here. So we might have to read.
Oh yeah, I see that now.
They've changed something, obviously.
Yeah, I just seen that's kind of weird. Okay.
Yeah, I guess that's how they recoup some of the money they've been losing in their stock. Start charging.
Well, that's inflation already. That's a good.
Yeah, so it looks like keep pushing through. Anyway, so Microsoft comes in at a slight trend of a 2. Let's see what the charts show from Microsoft. Let's see. So Microsoft looking pretty good. If you look at year over year, one day stays in the cake quite a bit. Been over the cake for a little while. Finally, in a good range again, like I mentioned, to buy, to see it explode back into the cake. See the MACD making some nice movements, nice momentum pulling back in. I do see opportunity for some uncovered manipulation to be covered back again. We see back in May 5th, there's some uncovered manipulation that needs to be filled back from investors who bought here. And so I feel like a great opportunity to get in this week for a long-term hold. I believe a great price for Microsoft is $255.57 with the opportunity, at least by Friday, if you wanted to get out by Friday, with a 2% gain, 1 to 2% gain of getting out at $259.58 or $260. So $255.57 is my price point for Microsoft. $255.57. That's what your call out for Microsoft.
I wrote down 253.20.
253.20. Okay.
Yeah, that's what I think you got an opportunity to get it at for the week. That's a good stock though, overall.
Oh yeah. All right, next on the list, got Pfizer. So another COVID-related company. So Pfizer comes in $1.63 overpriced at a true value of $50.68. Another one moving at a light trend upward of a 2. So looking at Pfizer on the charts. Again, another stock that has been pretty much in the cake pretty well. Good price action, good kind of predictability. We looked at where we called it out before, back in March, came down to our price point and pulled up, launched up. We called it out again in May, came down to our price point, and launched up. So going to do that again. We're going to call it out again this week. One thing I want to point out is looking at how much it's touched the $54.24 range. It's touched it 9 times since mid-March. So what that tells me is that there's a lot of activity and a lot of believers that this price is going to hit this at the $54 range again. So we look at the trends, we look at previous trends upward and kind of give us an idea of the space of where it can be. So for me, I feel very comfortable. I do feel like it's pretty much overpriced this week. I do feel comfortable buying it at $50.40. That's where I feel the best about it. And if it doesn't come down that range, so be it. But if it does come down to $50.40, I definitely feel like it'll be a great opportunity, even in this week, to get out with a 2% gain. But if it does take off in the next week or so, you're looking at a 7% gain to hit that $54.24 range. So I'm going in with Pfizer at $50.40 this week. $50.40. That's what your call out for Pfizer.
For the week, I thought Pfizer was kind of tricky for like a weekly trade. It's very one of those kind of, I guess I want to say flat stocks, but if it could get down to like 24.
51.24.
Okay, I don't think that's too bad.
And keep in mind, it's above the it just crossed above the SMA as well. So that's around that same range you just pointed out, 51.24. So yeah.
Oh, I mean, I just noticed that. You're right. Yeah.
So if it rides that on up, man, that's even good, even better. So yeah, it did that. If you did that previously too, it jumped above the SMA, rode it up, and popped up. So yeah, it's good. That's a good call out there too. All right. Moving on to the next one. Let's see. Plug Power. So we called Plug Power out a couple times in the past. Plug Power comes in moving at a trend of a flat trend. So it's a 0 call out on the trend. It does seem to be a little bit overpriced at 32 cents. So true value of $16.86. So what my call out value is for Plug Power. Let's look at the charts real quick and see what Plug Power shows us. Again, this one is a pretty rangy stock. You can see back in this time last year, moving pretty flat, got a lot of volume, a lot of push, a lot of excitement going into end of the year last year. Now it's been pulling back ever since. But it has shown some signs of wanting to turn back around. You look at the SMA, it's attacked it a couple times and crossed over and then pulled back off of it. Hasn't really seen that type of excitement around the price since. We did call it out back in February, came down to our price point, moved up some and pulled back and then moved up again. We called it out again in March, came down to our price point and moved up. And so again, it's at a great level now to make that same type of assessment. You do see the MACD is ready to build on momentum. You do see that there is some type of reverberation of the price from the trend from the last couple of months going up, down, supporting, resisting, and let's look for another support. I feel very confident this week. It's $16 even going in with Plug Power. getting out with a potential Friday at 11% gain. So I think there's just so much potential with Plug Power at this price point. I don't think you can go wrong at $16. So that's my call out for Plug Power. $16 even. That's what your call out for Plug Power.
Yeah, so Plug, that was one I'm a little bearish. It's on a downtrend again. But if you could get in it for on a week, I think 1570 to 1590 range. I'll go 1590 for a weekly trade.
1590 it is.
That's real. I know that's really that's real bearish too now, but
All right. We got one more and clock is against us right now. So Verizon, last call out for the week, coming in at a trend that's flat. That's $1.02 over price at a true value of $50.62. Got it in for a short-term trade. So let's look at Verizon. And we see just real big, real quick on the big picture, Verizon stays inside of this range, this price range, which I call the cake, very, very frequently. It's been recently out of the cake and now it's pulling back into it, and actually looking to cover some uncovered manipulation, as I would call. So you see the MACD starting to cross back up. And then we also see there's some uncovered manipulation from June and also going back to April. So I think there's a good opportunity to get in with Verizon at 50.47 with the opportunity to get out with about 1 to 2% gain this week. So 50.47 is my call out for Verizon. And I hope we don't run out of time. Daz, what's your call out for Verizon?
yeah, I'll do it quick. I actually got really close to yours. So I got 50.96.
All right, 50.96. All right, well.